12 minutes after 8 here on the AM show. Time now for AM Talk. And Kwabna Mankwesiama is Member of Parliament for Fantiakwa North. He's on the Finance Committee of Parliament and he's also a member of the New Patriotic Party. He's my guest on AM Talk. Mr. Siama, many thanks for joining us.
Good morning, sir.
Okay. So, obviously, a lot happening in Parliament today, a lot expected to happen in Parliament today, with the MPP seeking to commence processes or push for a bipartisan committee to investigate the president's decision to accept the fourth gifts. This is the question. At one point, the MPP says, well, you want to impeach the president. At another point, you say, okay, we want to consider processes that may lead to his impeachment. And then at another point, you say, you know what, we just want a bipartisan committee. The MPP, what do you want? Minority in Parliament.
Thank you very much. I will take this opportunity to say a big good morning to your viewers and listeners, especially people from Fantiakwa. That's a good question, of course, but I want to begin by saying that those who kill to live will always have the sentinel of ghosts awaiting at their doorstep. Simply put, what is the majority afraid of? All that we trying to do here is to make sure that Ghanaians come to terms with processes leading to the acceptance of the gift, and again establishing a fact whether it was given to induce the president in order for him to give the contractor a contract or more other for that matter in Ghana. This is what we want to establish, and it will inure to the benefit of all of us as Ghanaians to clear the name of the president here and globally, because several global media have taken to describing our president in terms that I may say it's not palatable to all Ghanaians, some of the media outside. So it would be better if we put that in a better perspective by the good house establishing exactly what might have transpired between our president and the contractor.
Some would say the MPP or the minority in Parliament are just seeking to be mischievous. In fact, Majority Leader Alban Bagbin made those exact comments that you are just seeking to be mischievous. Because really, if you are looking at the interest of the country, you wouldn't be towing this very line.
Yes, if you stand to be against for the ruling party, right, then it means you have to stand firm, because so many things will be thrown against you. You'll be called names, cut names, and other names. And it's not good for our democracy. What we are saying is, why are they saying so? All that we are saying is to establish probity and accountability.
You think they do not have a point? Because as of today, there have been 3 different positions from the minority since this very issue broke.
No, but
it appears you just want to cause mayhem or be mischievous.
I don't know why people are being jittery, especially people from the majority side.
You think they're being jittery? They're scared?
Oh yes, being nervous.
Do you think the president might be complicit in this? If
my leader, Bagbin, said we want to bring the good name of the president into disrepute, or we want to muddy the good self of the president. But that is not the intention. The intention is to clear the air. The intention is to put everything clearly shown to the whole world that this is what transpired between the president and the contractor.
If your intention is to clear the air, one would say a properly mandated body to carry out such an activity is already doing that. We do know that Shraj is investigating this issue. So what more do you want Parliament to do?
The quiddity of our democracy is epitomized in our Parliament. The quiddity of our democracy is epitomized in our Parliament. We are the representative of the people, and our activities in the house are of itself, right? So whether it's being investigated by TRAG or not, we have the authority to do so.
We understand,
by law.
But some would say, wouldn't just not be repetition of what is being done by TRAG? I mean,
I told you
state
that
resources.
When you are in a democracy, right, and you are using mandatory laws, right, permissible by the Constitution, there is nothing wrong. Whilst TRAG is doing its investigation, Parliament, on the other hand, can start its own investigation. What we are requesting is a bipartisan committee.
Is it that you do not trust TRAG to do such a good job? Is that the case?
Not at all. Not that. Let TRAG continue to do its work.
So why don't you allow TRAG to finish with its work, and then you can come in with yours?
Why wouldn't you understand the fact that Parliament is of itself and can do anything, because we are the rightful representation of the people. We can't by law. If by law it is not
you can't do it, but must you necessarily do it?
Why not? The preamble to my contribution to the question was, we want to clear our president, not their president, our president, of the misconception out there by the international society as to regarding the acceptance of the Ford vehicle from the Burkinabe contractor, which subsequently resulted in his attainment of a contract in Ghana, because the Ford was given before he obtained the contract.
But it doesn't necessarily mean he was given the contract.
Yes, that is why we want to clear. We want a bipartisan approach to clear the air.
Okay, so this is what you are pushing for now, and this is why you are being recalled. And I mean, you could have been using this time to campaign in your constituency.
But for the good of the nation, some of these things must not be glossed over.
You think the NDC does not look at the interest of the populace?
There are instances that the majority of the NDC have also made a recall. Fine. Once we are working within the remit of the law, and it is not intended to delimit any other institution as far as the Constitution is concerned, we have every right to get that done.
Let's take a look at a hypothetical situation. I understand. Let's look at a hypothetical situation where TRAG obviously is going through with these investigations, and then Parliament, assuming without admitting that Parliament also decides to investigate this issue, so there are concurrent investigations going on. TRAG comes out with its findings, and then Parliament, the bipartisan committee you speak of, comes out with findings that differ. What happens next?
It will be weighed on its merit. TRAG will have its own pathway, and Parliament will also have its own pathway. When we get to the bridge, we'll cross it.
It's a possibility. So should TRAG, for instance, say, well, the president is not complicit in any way, and then the bipartisan committee says, oh, the president is complicit. It appears the gifts influence his judgment and for one reason or the other enable this gentleman, this Jibril Kanazoe, to win the contracts. Then what? Then we test it at the law court. That is why the courts are there. In democracy, the courts are the final arbiter. When we get to there, if it happens that we will get there, right, like the hypothetical situations that you have enumerated, two of that, TRAG's report and that of parliamentary report. And any of the lines can go higher and higher until it's fully exhausted. But there's no clear-cut article in the Constitution that takes care of such a situation. I haven't seen any such thing.
No, but when you started, you were talking. I'm not saying that, but you were saying that some people have been saying it's the beginning of an impeachment. Is this?
Oh, that was what your party said from
that,
start. When this whole thing started, you said you wanted to impeach the president. You were considering the possibility of impeaching him.
It has not been openly and clearly supported by the party, for that matter. Maybe individuals may have assented to that, but I don't think that was the initial position of the party. What we are doing now is making sure that we either clear the government or the truth of the whole saga comes out. Okay.
So what's going to happen in Parliament today?
We're going to debate. That is all. It's a house of debate. It's a house where ideas are shown up and discussed, and a vote is cast. Right. But let me tell you that it's not always that the majority is right. When you go to Ablin says it is not always that the majority is right. Sometimes the majority may not be right, but the decision may be taken because of the vote of the majority. But that clearly also will tell the whole world as to how it all started and how it all
So you think the majority might inadvertently end up bullying you today in Parliament as well?
Per the commentaries that have come out in the newspapers and on the electronic media, per what the leadership of the House are saying, I think...
You've lost the battle even before you started.
We haven't, but we want to start the debate for the whole world to know that, yes, this is the situation. And if we were to be in the majority, right, if Akufo-Addo were to be president, we would have agreed on setting up a bipartisan committee. Yes, because knowing very well that maybe it would have been better for the whole world to know how it all started and it all ended. Just to clear the president. I mean, it would have been better, but I don't know their position. But per their commentary that I have read and heard, I think they are not going to entertain it. Something like that.
It's good you